Deadpool, don't you dare make a dirty joke.
What? I was just going to say that I was shocked you got this figure.
Oh.
Charles, you do know not all of my jokes are dirty and vulgar, right?
Oh, well, I guess I owe you an apology.
Charles, you can be a real
Welcome, fans and collectors. This is Marvel and DC 379 with another review, and today we'll be looking at Marvel Legends Shocker from the Sandman wave. So let's begin and look at the package. It says Build-A-Figure Marvel Sandman, and there's the really cool Spider-Man logo right there. Ages 4 and up. Legends series, and there's Shocker with his accessories in the window. It says Marvel and Spider-Man. I've always liked that logo for Spider-Man. And it says Marvel's Shocker. I'm gonna assume that they put Marvel's there for trademark purposes. There's a side shot of Shocker there, and another one here. And it says Marvel Legends series, and there's that really cool art, well, not artwork, but a pose of the actual figure of Shocker. It says Herman Schultz suits up in battle, in battle armor that produces intense shockwaves, earning him the notorious name Shocker. So here's the other available figures. I really want the Symbiote Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2099 and the Green Goblin. And they all come with a piece of Sandman, and I hope to get all of these figures. So that's enough of packaging, and now let's get into the figure. And here we have Shocker out of his package, and he's one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, and I think he's very underrated. And I really thought it was cool to see his first film debut in Spider-Man Homecoming. Although before the movie was released, they had the actor in a costume very faithful to this suit, but the end result, it was just a guy with a Shocker gauntlet, which is very disappointing. And the characterization in the movie was very bland and underwhelming in my opinion. But for a bit of background information, his name is Herman Schultz. He was a high school dropout, and he has a genius level intellect, but he used that intelligence to commit crimes. But when he was arrested, he developed his iconic Vibroshock gauntlets to escape. And to some extent, I've always seen him as the antithesis to Peter Parker. They're both high school geniuses, except Peter Parker uses his intelligence to stop crime. Herman Schultz uses his intelligence to commit crime. And they both use wrist device weapons. For Spider-Man, it's his web shooters. For Shocker, it's his Vibroshock gauntlets. So enough of that, let's begin. So this is Shocker in his classic outfit with the brown and yellow. And there's really nice detail, like you can see the lightning bolt symbol right there where his waist is. And I really like the silver on his Vibroshock gauntlets. It's kind of like a dull metallic silver, if that makes sense. I don't know. And there's a lot of scuff marks on them too, so if you can pay attention to the detail. And the lines on his costume, they're painted brown, which I like. The Toy Biz Shocker, they were sculpted on, while these lines are actually painted on. Which do I prefer? I'm either or if it works, and for this case, on this figure, it works. And he has these gray knee pads. I think they look pretty dull and bland in my opinion, but it's just a nitpick. Would be cool if they matched the silver on his gauntlets. So let's take a look at the head sculpt. I've always liked the look of his mask, especially the brown and yellow. The yellow on his suit is like a brownish yellow, but I know a lot of people complain that this head is big. I don't think it's that big. It's just oddly shaped, if that makes sense. But there's a lot of people think that this is a reuse of the Deadpool head, and I know Shartimus Prime said that on his review, but I'm actually here to debunk that myth. people think this is a reuse because, one eye is bigger than the other while the other one is smaller. But here's my Deadpool figure. His right eye is smaller while his left eye is bigger. This one, Shocker's eye, his right eye is bigger while the left one is smaller. So there you go. It's not the same reuse of the Deadpool head. But aside from that, I really do like the eyes on this head sculpt. It looks like a pearlescent white, which looks really good in my opinion, and they really shine with that subtle detail. So onto articulation. Ball jointed head with a hinged neck, hinged shoulder, bicep swivel, double hinge elbow, hinge swivel wrist, hinged torso, swivel waist, ball jointed legs, upper leg swivel, double hinge knees, boot swivel, and a hinged ankle. So yeah, really good articulation, as most Marvel Legends are. For accessories, he does come with a Build-A-Figure piece, the Sandman leg. This is the left leg, so I really look forward to building Sandman, but there's other Build-A-Figures that I still need to complete. I have a lot on my backlog, and the only other Build-A-Figure that comes remotely close to being complete is my Juggernaut. And his name is Shocker after all, so he needs these shock blast effect accessories, which are reused from other figures like Havoc's energy blasts and Wonder Man's energy blasts. But I don't mind this. As I said in my Havoc review, it works best with Shocker in my opinion because his main attack are shockwave blasts, and they do kind of look like shockwaves the way they expand like a shockwave. And you can put them in his wrist if you want. There is a clip system, so just put in his wrist. It's very simple, just like that. And the same goes for this one. See? So with displays, it looks really awesome when you have them shoot shockwave energy blasts like this. Although in the comic books, they're more of like a straight beam, so I wish there's a way to have it like a straight beam for a shockwave blast effect. But that's really hard to do to translate in the form of a toy, so I understand why they didn't do that. I mean, we came a long way of action figures with effect accessories, so we gotta be patient. But for now, these will do fine. And like I said, these are reused from other toys. Here's Havoc's version of his energy blast effect. And since they are the same mold, just a different color, they are compatible if you want him to use the blue version. Just slide it into the clip and see. And sometimes some of his shockwave blasts are in different colors in the comic book, so you can mix and match if you want. And that's what I really like, the ability to mix and match the same accessory in different colors. Like for example, the Doctor Strange magic effects that you can switch with other magic user characters like Scarlet Witch. And here's a comparison with Shocker, with Speed Demon, and Beetle. I did this comparison because back in 2013, they were the Sinister Six, and these are his teammates in the Superior Spider-Man storyline because, in my opinion, that's one of the best modern Spider-Man storylines. And they look absolutely great together, especially if you want to display Shocker with Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery. And here he is with my favorite superhero, not just from Marvel, but my favorite superhero period, Spider-Man. And they look really great together, especially if you want to display both of them fighting. So my final thoughts, is this the best figure in the Sandman wave? To be honest, no. But Shocker is one of my favorite Spider-Man villains. I had to get him, and I really think he's very underrated, and he is a good figure for what you get. And it's really cool to see him in the Spider-Man Homecoming film, and I really think that he deserves a lot more recognition as a character. And when you think of Spider-Man villains, you automatically think of Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, and Venom, and Carnage. I mean, Venom is my favorite Spider-Man villain slash ally, but I really do like Shocker as a character. And he's worth getting if you want to display him in your Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery. And currently he's in my villains display. So thank you for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next video. So until then, Excelsior, true believers.